Well, welcome back. It has been a minute, and for good reason. I've been rather busy doing a lot of stuff. But we're back to making videos, and we're going to go down to Hood River. And this isn't for the fly-in. I've actually got other plans for that weekend. So if you're looking to meet up and find me at Hood River this year, that's not going to happen. But we are on our way to Hood River right now, and we're going to show you a preview of some of the behind the scenes, what goes on and all the preparation that all of those wonderful folks do down there at the WAAAM. And we're going to work on wrench on some of the airplanes and kind of show you what it's really like in the preview of what's coming up at Hood River this year. So stick around. Let's get in the plane. This channel is about working on aircraft and flying those airplanes. So come take a seat and let's go for a flight. Area.
Information Tango 1653 Zulu, wind 240 at 8, visibility 10. In the vicinity, track clear below 12,000, temperature 16, 2.13, altimeter 3009er. Those are approach runway 16 right, and use runway 16 right and 16 left. Mr. Airman, taxiway Foxtrot 3, surface band is holding position sign, and center line marking is not standard. Taxiway Delta 2 closed. East 600 feet of taxi lane Echo is closed. Just round direction departures, drive these caution, runway 16 right intersections and be aware of runway in use. Advise his contact you have. Tango. Alrighty then. Information Tango. There's that little bit of fog up ahead of us, hanging out over the water, but everywhere else is clear blue. Got some layers to the south of Seattle, well, Seattle in the south, and that was just locked in. So getting a little bit of a later start, but it'd be a good time down at Hood River. Ground 10 Niner 250 Kilo Hotel 1, request a south departure with Tango. 9250 Kilo, please, ground 16 right at Alpha 6, taxi Alpha 1 Alpha. Hotel 1 Alpha 650 Kilo. Wait on some oil temperature, but runs everything else. Controls. Minutes and times. Gas. We're just leaving right now. Laps and trim are set. Click on the run up and take off clearance. So while we're waiting for the oil temperature to warm up, kind of explain what we're doing here. So I have a wedding to go to in September, so I kind of trumped the fly-in for a very good reason. I think Carly are more important than the fly-in, so I still wanted to help out and support the WAAAM down at Hood River, so I contacted Jay Bell down there, Director of Maintenance at Hood River at the WAAAM. And he said, yeah, come on down, help us out, and I'll be able to get we'll see how much access we get, but I'm sure I'll have an all-access behind the scenes what gets involved with preparing all of these airplanes to fly for this one event. And then they're flown throughout the year, but this is the big event. This is their meat and potatoes for their fundraising. Because it is not cheap to keep a bunch of old antique airplanes up flying around, so a lot of volunteers, so gonna run up in here real quick. Tower, Stinson 9250 Kilo, Alpha 6, ready to go southbound. 50 Kilo, plane, Stroud, southbound departure is approved on 16 right Alpha 6, clear for takeoff. Clear for takeoff, Stinson 50 Kilo. Cessna. Alright, get on this big white line here. Alright. Eagles down. Power's coming in. Airspeed. There's the tail. Forgot about the crosswind. Climbing at 80. Oh yeah, really clear down south. And 50 Kilo, request frequency change and all navigation. 50 Kilo, approved, see you. See you. Yellow approach, Stinson 9250 Kilo, just off Bean Field, be above the cliff. Phenom, Zero Golf Foxtrot, Stinson 2000. Over 9250 Kilo, set approach request. 9250 Kilo, just left Bean Field, we're on our way to Kinger, that's 4 Sierra 2. Type aircraft Sierra 108 at 7,500. 50 Kilo, stand by for beacon code. 50 Kilo, squawk 4625. 4625, 50 Kilo. 50 Kilo, ready to contact 4 south Pain 2400. Maintain view far outside the Bravo airspace. Altimeter 3010. 3010, maintain VFR outside of the Bravo, 50 Kilo. 50 Kilo, contact approach on 123.9er. 239, 50 Kilo. 1220, turn right, aim 040. Right to 040, block 220. Yeah, left down, left 451. Alaska 428, actually, it's heading 260 now, please. So the 1090 is at 18, 2 to 1080 is at Shen. Down to 1090, Seattle approach, runway 16 right. Straight up, 1090. Approach 15, Alpha, clear the vector for the weight. NCL 9250 Kilo, 4 miles, 4,000 feet. Alaska 428, descend and maintain 7,000, contact final 13365. Alright, 7,000 over final Alaska 428. Alaska 645, final 13365. 3365, Alaska 645. November 50 Kilo, Seattle approach, Seattle altimeter 3010. 3010, 50 Kilo. November 9250 Kilo, contact approach, 119.2. 119.2, 50 Kilo. Seattle approach, Stinson 9250 Kilo, slow climb, just under 4,000 feet. 50 Kilo. November 9250 Kilo, contact Seattle Center 126.6. 26650. Staff 1 November Delta, radar service is terminated. Report me on the next approach. Change to advisory frequency approved. Change to the... NCL Simpson 92503 kilo, climbing to a altitude of 7,500. 9250 kilo, scale clear, C010, maintain VFR. Walking and talking, 50 kilo, thanks for your help. Better of the count, 50 kilo is just crossing over the Columbia, the northwest, and down full stop landing 25 at Hood River. Sporty. Sure. Good over traffic, 75 kilo is left base, 25 full stop, Good River. Good over traffic, 75 kilo, turning final, 25 full stop, Good River. 40th landing ever.
So when I got to the WAAAM, they put me directly to work making some nose ribs for the center section of another airplane we'll talk about in just a little bit. But the first airplane we were working on is called a Mercury BT-120. This was kind of slated to be a basic trainer that never really came to fruition. That's why they only made about 3 of these airplanes, I believe. 3 or 5, I'm not quite sure. However, this is the serial number 2 of that line of airplanes. Now, a BT-120, pictured here, is sort of reminiscent of a Beech stagger wing, although in a tandem configuration. And being a stagger wing, it applies to a AD that was originally for the Beech stagger wing. And because the verbiage in the AD mentioned stagger wings, it didn't call out a manufacturer. So any stagger wing airplane needs to have this AD accomplished. And what the AD is that the section outboard of the struts needs to be of a wood boxed construction. The way these wings are designed, they're wood spars with aluminum ribs on the inboard section. But on the outboard sections, they need to be made of wood, and a plywood sheet is put over the top of them to box out the section. This helps create more rigidity and prevents the wings from fluttering in flight. Although the BT-120 never had any issues that we know of or was documented for flutter, but the AD still says stagger wings. So that's what we're going to do here. The plywood sheet has already been done on the top side. We're going to do the bottom side next. So in order to attach this plywood sheet, a previous volunteer has taped the sections that will be glued down and varnished basically in the bays where nothing touches anything. That varnish has dried, and we are going to attach the plywood sheet, which it's fairly thin, and this is a marine grade type of plywood, and marine grade plywood will hold up to water. It doesn't if you've ever seen plywood get wet, it tends to exfoliate and kind of separate. This marine grade plywood will not do that. It'll just discolor a little bit. So Jay has gotten approval from a DAR to actually use a 2-part epoxy, which we'll mix up, and we're going to apply to the sheet, and then we'll flip it over and tack it down with some really, really small nails. So small, in fact, that you have to pick them up with a pair of tweezers and knock them in with a little tack hammer.
Good morning. I wonder if we met. I'm Brett.
I'm Christopher. Nice to meet you. I'm covered with epoxy right now.
When you get a chance, paint gun.
The fuselage of this aircraft is over in the other bay, and at some point these wings will be ready to possibly dry fit onto the fuselage so that they can start getting some measurements for the flying wires and get some of the rigging ordered. I believe this airplane will be ready for a display in the maintenance hangar for the fly-in. So if you ever get a chance to come down to Hood River, that will be in the first weekend of September, you will be able to see this airplane as it sits without any covering on it, and hopefully with its wings on. So I also wanted to share some exciting news that the WAAAM is actually expanding its hangars. Unfortunately, it's going to take a couple of rows of the antique parking away, but it will leave this really expansive area for the museum to grow. Right now, everything is pretty jammed in tight, and in order to move airplanes around, they actually put them on automotive dollies so that they can roll them around sideways, backwards, flip them around. It's pretty impressive to see them actually move these airplanes in and out of the hangars. But as you can see here, the concrete has poured, and hopefully the steel should be flying, but the hangar itself will not be finished by the time of the fly-in, unfortunately. And with day one completed, it is time to head to the accommodations. Now, Jay and I here are talking about the next aircraft, which I'm really excited about, and I was absolutely blown away by this airplane. It is a Curtiss Wright 12Q. So this airplane was built shortly after Curtiss Wright had purchased the Travel Air Corporation from Clyde Cessna, Walter Beach, and Lloyd Stearman. I just find it very fascinating that the three major manufacturers all worked together before they split off and made their own companies. Cessna and Beach being the two most successful out of the three. And what makes this Travel Air 12Q so special is that the fact that it was owned by Jackie Cochran. So I got to work on a little piece of history, actually a couple of pieces of history. At the latter part of day 2, I had worked myself out of an airplane job, and Jay and I went over to the hangar where the breakfast and dinner banquet will be held for the fly-in, and we started clearing out some space because they use that hangar primarily for storage. Really couldn't film this because we were working on a time constraint with the glue, and plus it gets kind of messy, but we got all the leading edge ribs on the center section for the Curtiss. That's going to set up for probably overnight. But I also wanted to pay homage to a gentleman over here. So this is Jim Richards' box. He was going to, well, he did, I mean, he retired and everything, and he started as a volunteer here in the shop, and I think he did like 2 half days, and from what I'm told, he passed away. But His wife still donated all the tools. So this is his toolbox, and he is a recipient of the Charles Taylor Award, which, for those that don't know, A&P mechanics who have been in the field for 50 years are awarded the highest honor of being a Charlie Taylor recipient. Charles Taylor was the mechanic for the Wright brothers, built their engine for the Wright Flyer, and is so honored. So it's a big deal, and thanks, James, for all you've done in aviation. So, wrapping up day 2 here in Hood River at the WAAAM. We got quite a bit accomplished today. Finished the skins for the Mercury, and actually got the leading edge ribs installed on the Curtis. And then we were able to clean up the area where people will eventually have breakfast and the banquet dinner there in hangar 3, H3. So not quite sure what is on the plate tomorrow, but had dinner, and I'm just kind of kicking back here at the Yellow House, as it's referred to. This is a place for volunteers who come from out of town, actually have a place to stay, and you can also use one of their courtesy cars, which I'm very thankful for being able to have these accommodations. It makes being here all that much better. Not that coming down here and spending a couple days at the WAAAM has been all that bad. It's just been that much more enjoyable having a nice comfortable bed and some place to hang your hat, as it were. So the scenery down here is just beautiful right now. I'm looking at Mount Hood, which is just spectacular, and then Adams is not too far going the other direction. So this is kind of a magical place, as it were. So tomorrow morning I'm going to try and get out of here before the winds pick up too much, because I don't really feel like subjecting myself or the airplane to some of the buffeting winds that can be in the gorge. But want a special thanks to the WAAAM and to Jay specifically for allowing me to come down here and do this. And yeah, so next you'll see us jumping in the plane, yelling clear, and coming home.
An aeroplane shooting across the sky can surely take.
So now this is the beginning of day 3, and it is time to cut the remainder of the skin off of the BT-120 wing and plane and sand that section to its smooth and conforms to the wing. And it has been my time here at Hood River. And so with only a half day on day 3, it unfortunately is my time to go home. I have to go back to work the following day, and now I have to navigate the winds leaving Hood River and the cloud layers going back home. It's smooth.
Looks good.
Yeah, and I even sighted down the leading edge to make sure that
Everything's straight.
yeah, actually a little straighter than mine's, but
Okay. I don't tell that. All right. On the out on that, when you get done with this, there's a couple little like inspection cover wood boxes on the wing where we put the ribs on.
yeah.
We'll flip that over, and then we could probably make new wood.
Caution, 1750 Zulu, weather, wind 280 at 6, visibility 10, clear, below 12,000, temperature 20 Celsius, dew point 11, altimeter 2.
That certainly was a fun time at WAAAM at Hood River. A little bit of a shaky start to the departure there, but our VFR on top. And by the time we get to Payne Field, some of this should be breaking apart. Oh yeah, I see the Olympics. Yeah, there's big holes down here too. So if I need to circle and get down, I can. But I shouldn't have to. Shouldn't need to. Now I can see the Olympic airport. Cool. I must have outdated weather on my iPad. Oh, 32. Well, I know there's holes over here. See what we got up ahead here. This looks like a good spot to get down. Yeah, there were no holes over here. Jeez. Who would want to fly on a day like today? Alright, got the weather. Landing to the south, mixture waiting on, carbine waiting on, lights are on, and the landing clearance. This is definitely not pleasure flying. I guarantee you this afternoon, clear blue. Hangar system 1250, P move Edmonds docking down full south landing with Mike.
Number 92500, stand down and right downwind only.
Right downwind 16 rate 50 kilo. And tower 50 kilo request a short approach and land long.
November 7 Delta 67 Delta November, extend up one, I'll call you across the route.
Extend upwind, 7 upwind.
November 500, make short approach runway 16 right, you're number 1, runway 16 right, clear long.
Clear to land, short approach approved, 50 kilo 6.
turn left out 4, contact ground point 8 feet.
Alpha 4, point 8, 5016. That's why you don't use a lot of flaps on a crossway landing.
November 67, Delta November, just advise whenever you have the Cherokee heading to your right, approaching the shoreline in sight, 1,600 indicated.
Good morning, Ping Grounds, Junction 90250 Kilo Alpha 4 for the west hangars, please.
502, that's the Alpha Hotel 1.
Alpha Hotel 1, 502.
So of course the sun comes out in full force after I already land on a flight like that. But don't be fooled. That even being VFR on top, being rather precarious, as it were, if anything were to happen, you really can't find a place to land. But I took a lot of time to plan that out, to make sure that I could actually get on top and go pretty much as direct as I could. I left myself lots of options. The San Juans were all VFR, Port Angeles was VFR, and I had ample fuel to get me to those destinations as well. So, but also knowing that in the forecast here that it would be really, really sunny. So that was a look at the WAAM at Hood River. Thank you so much, Jay, for letting me come down there and work on some of those fantastic airplanes. And if you have the time available and can make your way down to Hood River, September 5th, 6th, and 7th, that entire weekend, is the Motoring Through Time at the Western Antique Aeroplane and Automobile Museum at Hood River. So make sure you support those guys, and we'll see you on the next one. May all your flying be good flying.